Z, don't be angry, Fu Shizhou was just confused for a moment, and he definitely won't really have anything with her. That's right, this Su Yang wears heavy makeup all day, and she's either looking in the mirror or combing her hair during class. Fu Shizhou has always hated her. The classmates' voices became smaller and smaller as they spoke, because Su Yang grabbed Fu Shizhou's hand and put it directly on her waist. A pair of white thighs rubbed Fu Shizhou's straight pants from time to time. I stood there, watching their backs gradually moving away. I couldn't help but redden my eyes. Seeing this, everyone could only sigh. I refused their kindness to send me home. I walked slowly on the empty streets alone. In the last life, facing Su Yang's obvious hookup, I acted like a spoiled child. Stood in front of Fu Shizhou, and pulled him back home, just because I accidentally heard that Su Yang was planning to drop out of school and start a business. Want to use Fu Shizhou to raise funds for her. At that time, the water pipes in the bathroom kept making noises. I was leaning against the door panel and heard Su Yang's little sister ask, "What if he doesn't agree?" Su Yang took a puff of cigarette, and beautiful smoke rings floated into the air. She chuckled nonchalantly. "Then I will threaten him to steal with the bed photos. If I can't make money, can I still steal? If it doesn't work, I will sell the photos. The nude photos of Jailing Ziwa are 5 yuan each. Do you want to see them?" Amid the booing, Su Yang was proud of winning. What kind of child marriage? That woman is rigid and boring. As for men, no one knows them better than me. They like, those who are open, understand, until there was no sound. I pushed the door open and walked out. In the trash can of the bathroom, there was a black lace underwear. There were still unburned cigarette butts wrapped in it. I frowned. I scooped up some water with my hands. I poured it into the trash can. When I hurried out, I saw Su Yang blocking Fu Shizhou at the door. After I got home, I sank into the sofa. My thoughts could not calm down for a long time. In my previous life, I took Fu Shizhou away. Life did not change because of this episode. We studied for the exam step by step and got married after graduation. When we celebrated my daughter's 5th birthday in the restaurant, suddenly, a girl covered in blood was carried out of the bathroom. Unmarried child. I don't know who the father is. She wanted to give birth to the child in the bathroom and leave secretly, but the accidental heavy bleeding took her life. Fu Shizhou paused while lighting the candle for his daughter. His face turned pale instantly. At that time, he was mature and steady, and he stammered, "Su Yang, just one glance." The pale face seemed to be from another world. Across the crowd, Su Yang and Fu Shizhou looked at each other and then closed their eyes unwillingly. After confirming Su Yang's death, Fu Shizhou blamed me in front of his daughter. If I had helped her at the beginning, not every girl is like you, with everything arranged by someone when she was born. Obviously, I could have saved her from the abyss when she was young. If you hadn't been jealous and didn't let me help her, she wouldn't have died in her best years. It's all your fault. You are so young, but you are vicious and intolerant. Fu Shizhou became more and more excited. He stepped on the accelerator harder and harder. The daughter cried loudly in fear, but he turned a deaf ear to it. 5 seconds later, Fu Shizhou drove the cart into the rolling river. Because of his excitement, the whole family died. The lovely face of his daughter echoed in his mind, and tears flowed down his face inadvertently. "Song Zi, come out." A sudden knock on the door startled me. I opened the door in a daze, only to see Fu Shizhou standing at the door angrily. "What do you mean? Tell my mother about me." He stared at my tearful face and sneered, "I am not yours alone. Do you know that you have hurt Su Yang so much?" I felt sick when I saw Fu Shizhou. I closed the door before he finished speaking. "I didn't sleep all night. I studied the requirements for admission to Tsinghua University and Peking University all night. In this life, I want to stay away from Fu Shizhou." But the next morning, when I arrived at school, I found that my desk was painted all over. The clothes and books in the drawer were scattered all over the floor with black ink. The instigator was standing aside and gloating. "Hey, Song Zi, I heard that you have always regarded yourself as Fu Shuaiba's fiancé." Su Yang's little follower, wearing black stockings, stepped on my coat with her thick-soled shoes. Last night, Fu Shuaiba was giving a lecture to Sister Yang, and was suddenly grabbed by her hair. "You bitch, if you hadn't told Fu Shuaiba's mother about it, would our Sister Yang be in such a state?" The classmates who used to stand on my side didn't say anything. They discussed in a low voice. "This seems to be something Song Zi can do. After all, she likes Fu Shizhou so much. Su Yang didn't come to school today. Who knows if what she said is true or not? Don't believe it. But Song Zi is Fu Shizhou's little tail. How do you know she didn't go to complain after we separated last night?" I didn't have time to refute. Su Yang walked to the door wearing a baseball cap and a mask. She was always outspoken. but today she was unusually quiet. She glanced at Fu Shizhou beside me. She seemed very scared and immediately lowered her head. Fu Shizhou, who had been silent all this time, had a cold face and finally spoke. Su Yang, didn't I say that you would move your seat to my side? Su Yang said timidly. Forget it. I may not be a good student. I will just get a diploma and then find a technical school. I crossed my arms. I just thought it was ridiculous. I was targeted. And Fu Shizhou had been watching coldly. When Su Yang came, I had no time to care. To the spirited girl who broke something, I sternly said, pack it up for me immediately, pay the money if you should, or call the police. I only wanted to study hard. But Fu Shizhou had no intention of letting me go. He stood up suddenly, the chair slid across the floor, making an extremely harsh sound. Why didn't I realize that you were so willful and capricious before? You owe Su Yang all this, do you know? Even if you pay a heavier price, you deserve it. I looked at Fu Shizhou in disbelief, looking at his handsome but cruel eyebrows, suddenly realized, he was also reborn. The atmosphere was tense. No one believed that Fu Shizhou would really quarrel with me. On the first day of school, Aunt Fu insisted on sending me to school. My parents have been busy supporting the disaster area in recent years, and they have little time at home at that time. Aunt Fu brought small gifts to the whole class and asked everyone. Song Ziyi was destined to be our Shizhou's daughter-in-law since her mother's womb. Now she is my own daughter. If there are any shortcomings, I hope everyone will forgive me. Since childhood, my name has been tied to Fu Shizhou's name. The south wind knows my intention, and it blows my dream to Shizhou. Everyone in the school knows about your relationship. Don't let a little thing hurt your relationship. Disgusting, Fu Shizhou interrupted with a stern voice, looking up at me with disappointment in his eyes. He gritted his teeth and said word by word, if I had known that there was such a connection between your name and mine, I would rather call you cat or dog. Call me Zhang San or Li Si, I don't want to have anything to do with you. It's so disgusting. Why are you destined to be tied to me? The whole class was quiet. Even the rustling sound of writing stopped. Even I have never seen such a Fu Shizhou. In the last life, he and I went hand in hand. And we entered the marriage hall when we had stable jobs. We have always been the perfect couple in everyone's eyes. From school uniforms to wedding dresses, I cooked for him. I gave birth to a lovely daughter for him, and I was willing to quit my job and be a housewife at home. I trapped myself in a 3-inch space just to be his strongest backing. But now, he said, disgusting, all the past events came to my mind. I almost collapsed, before I lost my composure. I turned around and left immediately. When the door slammed shut, I heard Su Yang ask in a voice, Fu Shizhou, if you defend me like this, will she be angry and ignore you again? Fu Shizhou sullenly said, no. Song Ziyi can't leave me. I studied hard. I was determined to get into Tsinghua and Peking University, and Su Yang and Fu Shizhou were together every day. At first, Su Yang pretended to study. Later, he began to skip classes with Fu Shizhou, smoking, drinking, staying out all night. When Fu Shizhou stayed out all night for the 3rd time, his mother found me with a very surprised expression. Shizhou said that the school was making up lessons. Why are you at home, Xiaoyi? I understood. After the first class this afternoon, Fu Shizhou followed Su Yang to skip class. I guess he's going somewhere to have fun tonight. I was about to say I didn't know, but Aunt Fu said, Xiaoyi, Shizhou has been talking to me vaguely and evasively recently. I'm worried about him. I often watch the news. You are under too much pressure at school. I'm afraid he will do something stupid. I looked at Aunt Fu's anxious expression. Thinking that my parents were not at home and she was the one taking care of them, I didn't refuse cruelly. When the call was connected, Fu Shizhou's voice was vaguely surprised. What's wrong? I turned on the hands-free, and my voice was calm. Fu Shizhou, you? I concealed my disgust and coughed lightly. Where are you now? Fu Shizhou didn't answer yet. Su Yang's charming voice came. Fu Shuiba, reach out and feel it. Is it soft? Is it big? Is it comfortable? Then, there was a rustling sound. Aunt Fu leaned on the sofa with a pale face. She looked very bad. Fu Shizhou, go home, Aunt Fu. I didn't want to have too much contact with him. I didn't want to know who he was with and what he was doing. But Fu Shizhou said coldly, why didn't I realize that you were so scheming before? Don't you have anything to do? You have to pester me every day. Su Yang behind him asked coquettishly, can we have meat tonight? I learned a lot from Quark. It's amazing. The phone fell to the ground without a dong. I looked at Aunt Fu, who fell straight to the ground and exclaimed, Auntie, Auntie. I opened the door in a panic and called the neighbors for help. Uncle Zhang, Aunt Fu, there was a chaos. I didn't hear it at all. Fu Shizhou on the other end of the phone kept asking in confusion, Song Zi, What tricks are you doing again? Talk. Uncle Fu left early. Aunt Fu's entire life was focused on Fu Shizhou. She couldn't accept that her excellent son was hanging out with such a girl. He had a sudden heart attack and was not in danger of death until the second half of the night. Fu Shizhou, your mother fainted. Come to the hospital quickly. I looked at Aunt Fu, who was pale and still unconscious, through the window, and cried anxiously. Hiss. It was Su Yang who answered the phone. Her voice was charming, and she said coquettishly, your posture is wrong, it hurts. I frowned. It was obvious that this sentence was not said to me. I reminded impatiently, Fu Shizhou. Su Yang heard it and said, oh, looking for you, Fu Shueba. She dragged her tone and said sarcastically, your childhood sweetheart. I heard Fu Shizhou's faint heavy breathing. I had a cold face, those suffocating pictures still came up uncontrollably. We have not had sex for 3 months after marrying Fu Shizhou. No matter how sexy I dressed, he remained calm and smiled as he pushed me away. We are not stable yet. Let's wait 2 years before having a baby. My face was red at the time, and I clutched the small box. Wouldn't it be better to wear this? Fu Shizhou joked that I was thirsty, complained that I had learned bad things. It was not until my parents urged me to have a baby, and even the doctor said that now was the best childbearing age, that Fu Shizhou began to work hard, like handing in homework. But when he was dying, Fu Shizhou's face turned red before he drowned. He said viciously, marrying you is the most wrong decision I have ever made. I shouldn't have listened to my mother and been with you. You know, touching you is as calm as touching myself. When preparing for pregnancy, I have to watch a long movie before I can touch you. I stared at him with wide eyes. I even forgot to try to break the glass. Fu Shizhou gradually suffocated. Finally, his mouth opened and closed, and I understood his lip shape. I hate you, but I don't understand. Why did he hate me and allow me to chase him around for more than 10 years? He hated me, but he married me according to my parents' arrangement. He hated me, but he created a false impression of family harmony with me, and made me willingly give up my future and be his solid backing. Is he deceiving me or himself? Hello, talk. Fu Shizhou's voice came. One voice was louder than the other. Song Zi. I woke up instantly as if from a dream. I came to my senses. Come to the second hospital. My voice calmed down and I said solemnly, if you don't come to the hospital, your mother will be mad to death. I hung up the phone before he could speak. I waited in the corridor for a long time, and my face was red from the cold. When Fu Shizhou arrived, I was covering my mouth and breathing out. Song Zi. He was tall and handsome, as usual, but his eyes were dark and his eyes were a little dull. Fu Shizhou frowned at me. You actually thought of using my mother this time? Or are you two doing something together? He said coldly. She posted on WeChat Moments last night and was dancing square dance. Can you use your brain before lying? I rolled my eyes at him. He took out the medical records. Look for yourself. Student Song. Are you crying? Su Yang, who was standing aside smoking just now, leaned over. She was wrapped in a large nightgown and spoke in a coquettish voice. Fu Shueba. What should we do? Your childhood sweetheart seems very sad. Su Yang touched Fu Shizhou's arm jokingly. Why don't you comfort her first? Look at her. She can't bear to leave you. She stared at my face seriously, looking at my red nose and eyes. Fu Shizhou also moved his eyes to my face. He frowned subconsciously. A trace of heartache flashed in his eyes. Su Yang was a little flustered when he saw this, but it was only for a moment. She burst into laughter. Fu Shueba. Why don't you stay and accompany your good girl? I'll replace you with someone else for the half-finished class. No, Fu Shizhou interrupted and pulled Su Yang, who was about to turn around. Turning to me, you are so boring. Song Zi, can't I have my own life besides you? From childhood to adulthood, you only know how to revolve around me, like a dog skin plaster. Where are Qin Rongbing's family members? The nurse's voice came. I subconsciously agreed. I'm here. The nurse was wearing thin clothes and stood at the door. After hearing the answer, she hurried back. I just turned around. Fu Shizhou snatched the medical record from my hand in disbelief. A few seconds later, he turned pale and staggered over. My hand was still hanging in the air in a daze. The cold wind of February blew. I couldn't help but shiver. Fu Shizhou took big steps and disappeared from my sight in a few seconds. I am most familiar with Fu Shizhou. His back is his. When I was a child, I ran behind him to school. After I got married, I sent him to work every day. How do you feel? Su Yang was still standing there. He blew a smoke ring in my face. I frowned. You didn't win this time either. He chose his mother, not you. Su Yang raised his eyebrows with undisguised provocation. Do you know what we were doing when you called? The high-class flower you have been pursuing for 18 years is begging me humbly. His hand was on. She untied her nightgown directly. revealing the revealing tight suspender skirt inside. I just think it's a waste of time, the admission result is about to come out, I might as well go home to make up for the lessons and make preparations. Unexpectedly, Su Yang grabbed my hand and pretended to put it on her chest. You know what? Good girl, to pull the flower of jailing down from the altar, rely on this. Are you crazy? I was shocked. I looked at the girl in front of me in surprise. I don't understand why Fu Shizhou would be so self-deprecating. I'm crazy. Su Yang's eyes were fierce. I thought it would only take one night to take down Fu Shizhou, but I didn't expect him to persuade me to return to the right path. I had prepared the condoms, and he taught me to save me, so you deliberately. I suddenly understood. You planned to catch him. Her eyes wandered for a moment, the cigarette butt suddenly hit her wrist. Mad, really crazy. I looked at the bright red flesh, and my heart was filled with fear. I wrapped my coat tightly and turned around to leave. Song Ziyi, Fu Shizhou came running over from a distance, looking anxious. When he stood in front of me, he held Su Yang's hand as if it were a treasure. He looked at me from the side as if he wanted to eat me up. What did Su Yang do to you? Why do you treat her like this? Can't I have my own life and friends? Finally, he threw down a sentence. If you continue like this, we really won't have a chance. I laughed in anger, raised my hand. Pa, a slap on Fu Shizhou's face. Get lost. I shook my arm that was sore from exerting force. I walked in the opposite direction resolutely. When the admission guide was announced, I was more nervous than ever. After Aunt Fu was discharged from the hospital, she invited me to her home for dinner several times to thank me. I refused. In her words, I wanted me to help her keep an eye on Fu Shizhou and I will no longer be on the same road in the future, so it will no longer be convenient for me to go. I suppressed my inner joy and didn't want to show it. Is it because of his girlfriend? Aunt Fu was anxious. Xiaoyi, listen to what Auntie is saying to you. Shizhou is in adolescence now. He was blinded for a while, so he did something wrong. Don't you know him? He is a good boy at heart. If that girl hadn't seduced him, he wouldn't be like this. He was crazy when he was young. He will definitely settle down and live a good life with you in the future. Wait for me to talk to him. If it doesn't work, I will beat him a few times. No, Auntie. I interrupted softly. I was recommended to Tsinghua University and Peking University. Auntie Fu's chattering mouth suddenly stopped. The air seemed to be still. After a few seconds, she stammered. I will go to school tomorrow and beat that vixen so that she will never dare to bother Shizhou again. Doesn't she know that Shizhou is going to marry you in the future? There is still some time before the college entrance examination. It's just right for you to help him with his lessons. There is still a chance. At worst, if I can't go to Tsinghua or Peking University, it's okay to live in the same city with you. I know you two have never been apart since childhood. How about this? From tomorrow on, you come to Auntie's house for lessons and dinner, okay? Auntie Fu seemed to think that I was throwing a tantrum because I was jealous. She also thought that I would be inseparable from Fu Shizhou as before. My face turned cold, and even my voice lost its warmth. Auntie, whatever you want to do has nothing to do with me. Don't hurt others under my banner. Child marriage. The look of Fu Shizhou gritting his teeth appeared in my mind. Child marriage doesn't count. The sound of something falling to the ground came from the other end of the phone. Pa. The phone was snatched away, and someone else spoke. Song Ziyi, can you please say it again? I heard Fu Shizhou's voice, and I just felt unlucky. Auntie, I have something else to do, so I'll hang up first. I pretended not to hear Fu Shizhou's angry questioning, and muted my phone directly, lying on the bed. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Since I came back, I have put all my thoughts on studying. I rushed forward with all my strength, just for this life, live out myself and pursue my dreams. I even endured Su Yang's occasional provocation, because I don't have the time or energy to get involved in those messy things. When I received the caring message from my parents, I just had an idea. I decided to go to the city where they were stationed to take a look, just to relax. In my previous life, I didn't understand what was more important than my own daughter. I was angry with them and thought they didn't love me, until I became a housewife. When my parents came to see me, their eyes were filled with unfathomable sadness. Z, if you want to change your life, your parents will always be your solid backing. We can cover you. At that time, I was devoted to taking care of Fu Shizhou. I didn't listen to their words at all, and even hurt them, when I needed you the most. You were never there. What qualifications do you have to educate me now? Later I learned that in the past few years, they have traveled all over the country and experienced countless life-threatening moments. Before I took the college entrance examination, they returned to their family and began to take care of me wholeheartedly. And I was full of Fu Shizhou in my heart and eyes, and it was too late to turn back. fortunately, there is still time now, everything is still in time. It is an honor to be firmly chosen by someone. Just after booking the train ticket, the social dynamic push popped up. The accompanying picture shows two wrists intertwined intimately. The most conspicuous is the cigarette scar on the wrist, the boy's hand. I am very familiar with it. It is Fu Shizhou. The top post of the comment section is, there are always people who think you are not good enough, and there are also people who think you are good in every way. No need to stand on tiptoe. People who love you will bend down. I clicked the like button and fell asleep. I rested at home for a week. I went to school to pack my things. Unexpectedly, I ran into Fu Shizhou. He and his friends were lazily leaning on the railing, chatting leisurely. Hearing my name, I subconsciously hid in the corner. You and Su Yang played so much. Song Zi doesn't want you this time, right? You too. A girl like Su Yang. It's okay to play around. Why did you get a cigarette scar? Are you so serious about Su Yang? Fu Shizhou turned around after hearing this, facing the corridor behind me. I was in a dilemma. I just kept hiding, Fu Shizhou said nonchalantly and raised his wrist. In the sunshine, the boy is even cleaner and brighter, but I know that he has been rotten for a long time. Su Yang made a big fuss. Fu Shizhou pulled his sleeves again to cover the cigarette scar, and this is what Song Zi owes her. As he spoke, he seemed to be addicted to cigarettes. He put his hand into his pocket, and then remembered that he was at school, so he took his hand out awkwardly. Fu Shizhou's face darkened. Who doesn't want me? Are you talking about Song Zi? His brother laughed twice. Yes, I saw her like Su Yang's love post that day, and you didn't even try to coax her. This time she must be sad and disappointed. She even stopped going to school. No, Fu Shizhou said firmly, for me, she will always be the one who is chosen. The right to choose has always been in my hands. Amid the booing, everyone asked, have you made up your mind? Who do you choose? Fu Shizhou didn't say anything. After a while, he said, Su Yang has a bad temper and can't get back on the right track, at least not in the way of studying. However, she is very wild and open-minded, so, I am a little entangled and a little reluctant. Su Yang rushed to open up to you. Tut tut tut, is it really that good? But it is true, look at her like that. She wants to do you in the classroom. It seems that the childhood sweetheart will be abandoned, but I'll be fair with you now. Song Zi probably won't want you. The boy who was watching the scenery in the corner kept silent. After hearing this, he suddenly said lightly, okay, it's just right that I'm going to pursue her. Fu Shizhou raised his head suddenly. Who are you talking about? Song Zi, beautiful and excellent. If it weren't for you, I would have pursued her a long time ago. But now it's good. Song Zi doesn't like you anymore. I don't know how the scene suddenly became chaotic. I didn't hear clearly what words Fu Shizhou was provoked by, and suddenly he attacked with red eyes. When we were fighting, I was ready to leave in the chaos. Before leaving, Fu Shizhou saw me, Song Zi. It seemed that he didn't believe that I would ignore his fight. His voice was shaking badly. I ignored it and strode forward, until he whispered, Xiaoji. My steps stopped. My shoulders began to shake uncontrollably. That was the name of our daughter in the previous life. I turned around, pushed through the crowd, and squatted at his feet in Fu Shizhou's expectant eyes. I knew you wouldn't ignore me. From childhood to adulthood, I have been in your heart. I stared at him and said coldly, what qualifications do you have to mention? Xiaoji, Fu Shizhou, and Su Yang have been swaggering and showing off every day in the past few months. The nominal brothers also disliked him. I looked around and found that it was Fu Shizhou who attacked first, who was the most seriously injured. I pinched his bloody chin hard. She was killed by you, Fu Shizhou. You are not a human. While he was stunned and couldn't fight back due to his injury, I kicked him hard a few more times. No one stopped me. It was not until Su Yang was surrounded by people that I combed my hair and prepared to leave. Shizhou, Su Yang cried while jogging. Why is it so powerful? I will take you to the hospital now. As she said that, she stared at the onlookers fiercely. Who is it? Who hurt him? When I know the whole story, I will definitely make you pay for it. If you know what's good for you, kowtow to me and admit your mistake immediately. Otherwise, I will make you live a life worse than death. It was a cold February day. Su Yang was still wearing a sexy tight skirt, revealing a large area of white skin. And her chest was heaving violently because of anger. Her harsh words didn't scare anyone. Instead, I was teased. What? How are you going to make us? The boy looked at Su Yang up and down with an undisguised look, and said in a vulgar tone, worse than death, is it in that way? No one hurt your Fu Shueba. He did it himself. Oh, by the way, we can't call him Fu Shueba anymore. His grades are about the same as yours now, and he can only be called a poor student. Su Yang put his hands on his waist and was about to quarrel. I suddenly felt a little strange. They have been together for so long, but Su Yang didn't ask Fu Shizhou for money, nor did he ask him to steal things. Enough, Fu Shizhou shouted, interrupting my thoughts. His eyes were red. And he looked at Su Yang with some disgust. Isn't it embarrassing enough? Look at you, what do you look like? Su Yang widened his eyes. He was on edge the previous second. But now he was so flustered that his voice trembled. Fu Shizhou, who are you talking about? Fu Shizhou couldn't hide his disgust, just like the way he looked at me in the last life. Every word he said was precious. Talking about you, Su Yang, look at yourself. Do you know what others say about you behind your back? They say you look like a chicken, they say you are dirty, even me, I am being poked in the back with you, and pointed at behind my back, even when I go to the bathroom. I have to be avoided. They privately say they are afraid that I will get dirty diseases. Fu Shizhou's body was covered with bruises. At this moment, he didn't care about his dignity, his face flushed with anger. Before you came, everything was obviously not like this. It's all you, Su Yang. We are all girls, how can you be so shameless? Su Yang opened his mouth several times. No words came out. Until the end, she said with trembling lips, you have no conscience. I gave you my first time, you know clearly that I have never been with other boys except you, I thought. She shook her head, looking painful. You obviously like me like this, you are lying to me. You obviously like me like this, you should cherish me and marry me home. I looked at her painful expression, I understood, she was also reborn. I don't know what happened later. When I packed up my things in the classroom and was about to leave, I publicly told everyone that I was recommended for admission. Songzi, you are so awesome. When Fu Shizhou and Su Yang were entangled, we were worried that you would be affected. That's right, if it were me, I would have been unable to bear it psychologically. How could I study hard and be recommended for admission? Now it's good. Fu Shizhou was dragged down by Su Yang, and his academic performance plummeted. But the strange thing is that Fu Shizhou seems to be very confident about the college entrance examination. He said that he can get high scores even if he doesn't study. I really don't know where his confidence comes from. I smiled, there was no ripple in my heart. After saying goodbye to my classmates, I got on the train to Nanching. Z, where are you? I'm downstairs from your house. I want to talk to you. When I received Fu Shizhou's message, I was looking at the scenery in my previous life. I followed Fu Shizhou's footsteps step by step and never really lived for myself. I didn't slow down to see the beauty around me. I was annoyed by the messages that kept coming up. I blocked and deleted them directly. Half an hour later, I saw the news posted by Fu Shizhou on the short video app. You will regret it. There was only one picture in the picture video. It was a photo of an amusement park. On it was a pink rotating slide. It was my daughter's favorite slide in the previous life. My heart sank. I finally understood why Fu Shizhou was always confident that I would never leave him, because I love my daughter, and I can only have her again if I marry him. Memories came, my heart couldn't stop beating wildly, but I won't waver. My life, there is still a bright future. 3 months later, I received the news that Su Yang was pregnant. At that time, I was already sitting in the spacious and bright classroom of Tsinghua University and Peking University. After hearing that, I left. Fu Shizhou learned about my admission. He didn't believe that I would really leave him and leave by myself. He squatted downstairs of my building for several days, wanting to confront me face to face. When my classmate mentioned it, he sighed. Didn't you see Fu Shizhou's behavior? He said such ugly words in front of everyone. After you left, he became like a stray dog. When he was drunk and dreaming with Su Yang, he didn't think of you. Now he can't even raise his head at school. Who can look up to him? I smiled. My classmate said to himself. His mother even came to the school. Ask each of us. I surrender. She doesn't care about asking others about her own precious son. That day, his mother rushed up like crazy and tried to strip Su Yang's clothes, scolding and beating him. Then guess what? I treated it as a joke and relaxed. I asked in cooperation. What happened next? Su Yang pushed Fu Shizhou's mother away, screamed, and said, if you hit me again, I will beat your grandson to death. I was so shocked that my jaw dropped. I remembered to open the school forum. I found that the video was filmed and posted by passers-by. In the video, Fu Shizhou struggled to stand between the two crazy women. His face collapsed, his voice was hoarse, his eyes were red, and he was extremely decadent. Where was the previous high-class flower? Even the teacher didn't say a word for Fu Shizhou. He said coldly that he would fight back home. In the end, Fu Shizhou held his angry mother with his left hand, he held Su Yang, who was clamoring to get married, with his right hand. He went home in disgrace amid the laughter of the crowd. I watched the video twice, I just felt refreshed. Fu Shizhou, isn't this the life you want? The freshman ceremony was very grand, the atmosphere was cheerful and warm. Here, I want to start a new chapter in my life, but I didn't expect that after the ceremony, when I was about to have a midnight snack with my friends. I ran into Su Yang as soon as I walked out of the door. She waited at the door for an unknown period of time, her body was hunched over and she looked even thinner. Song Zi, Su Yang was pale and thin. Are you very proud? I looked at her slightly protruding belly. I didn't want to pay attention. I pulled my classmates and was about to leave, but she suddenly shouted, is this your outstanding student from Peking University and Tsinghua University? You know your childhood sweetheart is getting married soon, but you are still hanging on to him. It's not easy for me to get pregnant, you still seduce him. Su Yang's eyes widened and she shouted to the passers-by, let my husband never forget her. How shameless, childhood sweethearts are great. No sense of propriety at all. My husband's phone is full of her photos. I crossed my arms and looked at her. I called the police by the way. No one looked at me among the people watching the excitement. Instead, they looked at Su Yang with scrutiny. She was obviously a girl under 20 years old, but she looked like a shrew. I took a step back, wait for the police to deal with it. I just saw Fu Shizhou rushing over. He shook Su Yang off viciously, rushed up to catch me. Z, I bought a ticket to see you. But she saw me. After I avoided him with disgust, Fu Shizhou bent over and said urgently, don't listen to her. I won't marry her. She is so dirty. Who knows whose child she is pregnant with? I still love you the most. Do you know, we should get married, and we have a lovely daughter. Seeing that I ignored him, he actually knelt at my feet. Have you forgotten? It's okay, it's not too late now, we can still get married and have a daughter. This time I will definitely be a good father and a good husband. I sighed. My friend pulled me back and quietly pointed at his head. I nodded and agreed. He has some problems with his brain. Su Yang was so angry when he saw Fu Shizhou like this that he was breathing rapidly and his face turned pale. Fu Shizhou, seeing the police coming, Su Yang suddenly rushed up. Comrade police, I'm only 19 years old, and I'm pregnant with his child. He raped me. As soon as these words came out, Fu Shizhou lost his color and his face became even uglier. You seduced me. Su Yang ignored her and shouted loudly, he was the one who raped me. I didn't do it voluntarily. She wanted to threaten Fu Shizhou to marry her. The means were as clumsy as ever. You hurt the enemy 1,000 times and you hurt yourself 800 times. Fu Shizhou also understood. He stared blankly for a while, then he suddenly laughed. His laugh was so creepy and terrifying. Just when Su Yang thought he would compromise, Fu Shizhou suddenly stood up, pushed through the crowd, and rushed into the rushing traffic. The normal truck passed by at high speed. The next second, Fu Shizhou was lying on the ground covered in blood, his neck was abnormally twisted, and his legs and waist were separated. I took a breath. I quickly looked away, but I still heard what Fu Shizhou said before he rushed over. He murmured, if I were reborn again, I would definitely make the right choice. I couldn't help but read in my eyes. I had a dream on the first night of my rebirth. In the dream, my daughter said that she had asked for a chance to be reborn for me. She said that this time I should live a good life. She also told me, we won't see each other for a long time. That night, I cried and wet my pillow. I made up my mind to swallow all the grievances and sadness, just to climb to the top. Z, are you still going? I came back to my senses and smiled, of course. I'm in a good mood tonight. I'll treat you to a big meal. I didn't look back to see Su Yang's crazy look, chatting about studies with my friends side by side. The stars tonight, it's particularly beautiful.